Do you still have trauma today?
Yes, I still suffer from anxiety, depression, of course, anger, but I'm able to manage this.
Kozito was just 15 when his world fell apart.
And then in 94, the killings started?
Yes.
Spring of 1994, Rwanda was a war-torn bloodbath. Hutu extremists wanted to rid the country of the minority Tutsis, people like Kozito and his family. Their tool, a well-planned genocide that left more than 800,000 people dead over the course of 100 days.
Called a cockroach, was called a snake.
When you come to a place like this, what's it like to be?
As I said, it's amazing, and it's very therapeutic to me.
Kozito and I met at the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center, where he and others tell their stories in an exhibition called Voices of Genocide.
What does it mean to be a survivor of genocide?
It's a mixed emotions because it's sign of a resilience. First, that's positive side of it. It helps me to live life without fear because I've seen the worst. But on the other side, it's a reminder that the human being can turn to animals and do some awful things.
Take me back to life before the war.
I grew up in a well-to-do family, a big family of 10 kids. I'm the last one. We grew up in a compound of 7 houses. We have housekeepers. I went to one of the best high schools in the country, and life was beautiful. Actually, it was excellent.
Until it wasn't. Oppression began slowly, then escalated at warp speed.
When the genocide started on April 6th, the next day the government they announced that everything's shut down. They will attack your house, take you, kill you, and burn your house and take everything.
Leaving nothing but fear.
The day that you ran, tell me about that day.
The day I was ran, I was at home and I heard this like a loud noise, people punching, kicking our gate. And when I turned around, I saw the soldiers and the militias with the gun on top of me. So I just took off. I ran away and I hid across the street in these banana trees. I saw my house being blown up. I knew my family was gone, was dead, and it was just me, myself, and I didn't know what to do. This was 2 months before the genocide.
In many ways, that's when his odyssey began.
I was turning 15. I started running and we went to different places to hide, and I was caught again. I was, hacked with a machete. It just was awful. It was awful. When they took me to this, it would be the 3rd killing site. I knew I was gonna die, and I've made a peace with God. I was looking for the easy way, the simple way to die.
Why did you want to die at that point?
There was no way out. There was no way out. I was hoping to die with a bullet. They just shoot and then I never get hit.
Literally dodging that bullet changed everything.
I was like, man, I ain't getting shot. So now I have to leave again. I need to start hiding. I was going under the trees, and that's why I ended up in the swamps. When I got into the swamps, that was the safest place to be. The hunger got me. My body started giving up.
Then after nearly 100 days, help finally arrived.
On the other side of Rwanda, northern part of Rwanda, there was a group of people who came together. The rebels decided to stop the genocide. So they got to me when I was in my last breath. If they never showed up that time, I won't be here.
Scared and angry, Kozito wanted to leave the despair of Rwanda behind him. He wandered around Africa, and in Kenya, he found something that changed his life forever. Basketball.
I played for these local clubs. I became a star. One of the scouts from Savannah, Georgia, started recruiting kids from Africa to come here for tryouts. So 1998, July, I was given a chance to come here through the tryouts.
He eventually got a scholarship here in Chicago at Providence St. Mel High School in East Garfield Park.
That's how I ended up here, through basketball.
Kozito says basketball saved him as a teenager. As an adult, he's on a mission to save others. He's a founder of a nonprofit called the Peace Center for Forgiveness and Reconciliation.
I want to help my fellow genocide survivors and other people who are going through tough times. I help them find a job, housing, school, if they want to go to school, healthcare, if they need any any insurance, and of course teach them English and how to assimilate to American culture.
But there's more to the center than that.
It's a place to meet and work on your inner peace and learn how to forgive and to reconcile, because that's what I've done.
The proof? This photo. The inmate Kozito is with is the very man who tried to chop his head off with a machete when Kozito was a teen. It all brings us back to the Holocaust Museum, where Kozito and genocide survivors from around the world talk about death and learning to live again.
What are you hoping that your story and others like yours, what are you hoping that the impact it will have?
Personally, I feel like everybody should know that whatever you go through, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. On an international level, people should learn how to help, to intervene. Before becoming the diplomats, the soldiers, we need to become a human being first.
There's a saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Kozito is living proof.
I know exactly how the death smells. Just hopeless, helpless. It's just awful situation to be in. I have a saying that if it's not genocide, it is nothing. To me, there's nothing worse. There's no situation I've seen in my life can bring me down, because I've seen the worst.
Barbara Murphy and her husband built this 16-unit rental building in 2018 with 11 parking spots. There were no issues until this residential parking permit zone was established last fall. They've asked the alderman for an exception, allowing their tenants to park on this block. He says no can do, but they believe he's saying it out of spite.
It's such a simple fix.
Barbara Murphy hoped 45th Ward Alderman James Gardiner would agree when she approached him about amending the parking permit on the 4400 block of North La Crosse.
To allow only our address to use those spaces.
So that her tenants and their visitors could again park on the block instead of 2 blocks away, often their only option because their building is surrounded by a gas station, another apartment building, and parking restricted Montrose Avenue.
Not having access to, nearby safe parking is a real concern of ours.
Gardiner defends greenlighting the permit even after getting this letter from Chicago's Department of Finance stating they'd surveyed the location and a permit is not recommended because 61% of street parking spots are usually available. So you're saying that the Department of Finance's recommendation was incorrect?
I'm saying that if they go at off hours, when it's not Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, you'll see a greatly different story than you would be if you're going in the middle of the day when everybody is working.
Gardiner also says Murphy's building is a transit-oriented development, so she shouldn't need more parking.
They got what they asked for.
But Murphy believes Gardiner's decision to override the city's recommendation is personal because she'd personally criticized him on social media, basing that on something the alderman said to her husband.
He said, well, tell your wife to be quiet on Facebook or social media.
It was mentioning to them, please stop identifying individuals who are not responsible for getting signatures, who are getting bullied on that block.
It's gotten so ugly that bullying accusations are flying from both sides. Someone even threw a brick through the window of Murphy's building. This whole thing is a mess, but let's just go back to this. The idea and the accusation that you are doing this out of spite. And it's an abuse of aldermanic power. Your response?
The clerk agrees. They wrote a letter, and I can read that for you if you'd like. And they agree with what I am saying.
This is that letter sent to Gardiner one day after my first call to him and the city clerk's office about establishing a permit buffer zone. Gardiner insists city ordinance requires any parking buffer zone or permit exception include all residents who live within a 2-block radius. You can't just open it up to this one address.
No, it would be opened up to 2 blocks east, 2 blocks west.
Except a city clerk spokesperson confirms Gardiner could do it if he wanted by amending the code. This document shows he's done it before, granting a parking permit exception to just a handful of addresses on the 5200 block of Lovejoy.
It's draining.
Meanwhile, Murphy and her husband are losing tenants over parking.
Ooh, when's picture day?
Making it tough to pay their mortgage.
If we can't rent the units out, how are we going to pay it?
$200 thing.
Shattered lawn decorations, flattened plants, and tire tracks now cover Pete Ziznicka's front lawn. The aftermath of this. Vandalism by SUV at 3:15 a.m. Saturday.
You'll see her up and back and up and back.
You'll see her because Ziznicka's carefully planted security camera captured most but not all of it. He says the woman ended what he believes was her targeted rampage by totaling this white sedan parked just down the street. Security footage caught that.
She mentioned my name a couple of times.
And caught that too. Pete Ziznicka is an outspoken critic of 45th Ward Alderman James Gardiner. Relevant because his wife says the same woman in the same SUV with the same license plate drove by just 7 hours before with a message.
Yells at me, "You tell your husband to leave the alderman alone." She said the alderman.
And you take that to mean?
Alderman Gardiner.
This also happened just 2 days after this Northwest Side Watchdog article hit social media. It's about Ziznicka's apparently blocked attempt to get public city records related to a parking permit dispute involving Gardiner we first reported in March. It's an abuse of aldermanic power. Your response? The Ziznickas filed police reports with 16th District officers, including the SUV's license plate number. Days later, an officer told him that license plate number was nowhere in their records.
They're trying to cover this up, paint me as Pete the crazy guy, but that's complicated because of that car.
This totaled car. When specifically asked, a spokesperson for the Chicago Police Department would not say if the driver's license plate number is part of that police report. And beyond that, they'd only say the incident is still under investigation and no arrests have been made. In Jefferson Park, Dana Kozlov, CBS 2 News.
You might know whose bag this is.
Sources say these are members of the elite TSA Viper team aboard the 5:04 p.m. Union Pacific West Line. They're carrying handheld nuclear detection devices, which picked up a reading for nuclear activity. Viper teams were created after the 2004 bombing of a train in Madrid, Spain, to protect U.S. transportation. Here at the Ogilvie station, they detain this train and search for the person or bag that could be posing a deadly threat.
Whose bag is this?
The bag in question turns out to be clean, but there's still a signal of something nuclear somewhere on the train.
They were in charge and they weren't going to let that train go out until they knew it was safe.
Jerry Jones, a Chicago lawyer, was heading home on that train. He's the passenger in the blue shirt.
They actually narrowed it down to the people right around you on the train.
Yes, they did.
And the entire time you're sitting there thinking, wonder what they're looking for.
I had no idea that I was the center of the activity.
Jones says the special security team must have picked up on him as he entered the station and walked up these stairs. Little did he know that a nuclear stress test he took earlier in the day would have set off silent alarms and sent security scurrying.
Probably 15 minutes.
15 minutes, they're kind of buzzing around looking for this bag or person.
Yes.
The TSA team passed right by him several times before ending up on his train car. Finally, he got a clue when an agent questioned the man right next to him.
And said, "Sir, do you have an explanation as to why I'm getting a high isotope reading on your bag?" And the fellow's jaw dropped.
Once the agent said isotope, Jones says he realized he was the one they were looking for, and that's when he raised his hand to confess.
I had a nuclear stress test.
Mike, we got it.
After showing his ID and proof of the nuclear test, which can leave patients emitting radiation for some time, Jones and the other passengers were allowed to go on their way.
What feeling do you walk away with?
One of great security, knowing there are people on the lookout for this type of thing.